You know, it's often said that there's nothing more important in this life than family. And for years and years, I've always questioned why that is. I believe that if you ponder, think, rack your brains and give thought, you can come up with the answer to just about any question. So after doing that, to this quandary, this is the answer I have. The reason that family is the single most important thing to any individual human being is because to truly comprehend the path that lies before you, you must first understand the path that lies behind you. And family is the ultimate doorway, the ultimate window into your past. But you see, unfortunately for Alex Shane, I never had that advantage, because when I entered the world of professional wrestling at the tender age of just 13, I sacrificed my relationship with my real family for a relationship with a family of a different kind. And that was the family of pro wrestling. You see, I didn't have a relationship with my father because I didn't really spend any time with him. From the age of 13, my father was replaced by a man called Andre Baker. And Andre Baker became my real life father figure. And wrestling became my family. And I watched as Andre Baker proved the scientists absolutely right. Now, what scientists are they? Well, they're the scientists that said that the baby boomers, the people whose parents lived through the war, would be the ones to create great change. You see, their parents saw hardship, and they saw suffering, and they saw death. So their children were born into a world that was changing, a whole new world, a brave new world. And they understood that with hard work and dedication, for the first time in human history, the average man and woman on the street could achieve anything. And they inspired a generation all of their own. The generation that they inspired was my generation, the people born in the 70s, and that was Generation X. You see, through the achievements of the generation that came before us, we learned that if we laid the foundations and we worked hard, we could get anything we wanted. But again, for the first time in human history, the luxuries on offer to us were a whole new world. You see, not only did we work hard, but we played hard too. So you see, Generation X, inspired by my father figure, broke the mold in this country. Alex Shane, Doug Williams, Jody Fleiss, Johnny Storm, we fought the establishment, we beat the establishment, and we changed this business. And you see, Andre Baker was not the most moral man that I ever knew. In fact, we didn't talk for some 10 years. In fact, I would say that Andre Baker was the most hated man to the wrestling era, the wrestling generation that he had until I came along. But you see, Andre Baker's sacrifice to this business meant that he was so universally hated in this country, despite revolutionizing the industry that he inhabited, that there comes a time when a man realizes that to go back into the world he created would be so hard for him to do that the only thing left was to take his own life. And that, Nathan Cruz, is a sacrifice. Now you see, when I tell you this, I can't talk to you about the sacrifice that Andre made because I'm not at that part of my life yet. But let me talk to you about the sacrifice that I made, the sacrifice that Doug Williams made, Jody Fleiss, Johnny Storm, and all these people. You see, you say that Alex Shane likes to talk about himself. Well, you know what? Damn right I like to talk about myself, because I came from a council estate with an alcoholic father. And that's what I did. I entered into this world with nothing, and I inhabited the industry that I wanted to. And do you know what happened, Nathan Cruz? I got all the things that I wanted. I bled. I ripped my skin with barbed wire. I landed on 2,000 thumbtacks. I've broken tables with my skull. I have jumped off 30-foot balconies. I've wrestled Raven up and down this country 5 nights in a row with a hairline fracture in my ankle. And I did it most of the time, not for the money, but for wrestling. You see, that's what Generation X is all about. Sacrifice. Not just as a wrestler, as a trainer, as a promoter. Who brought Ring of Honor to this country for the smart fans? Me. Who brought TNA to this country for the smart fans? Me. Who brought the Super Show to this country for the smart fans? Me. Who opened the door for Noah with Kenta Kobashi and Masawa so they could come over and tour? Me. Who opened the door to Dragon Gate so they could come over and tour? Me. Who used the fan forum to change this business? Me. And who is the most hated person in the industry that he built with the people he built it for? Me. That is sacrifice. And I'll tell you why you don't understand that sacrifice, Nathan Cruz. because your generation is Generation Y. You see, science and research and fact also prove that Generation Y believe one thing, and that is they can have anything they want without the hard work or the sacrifice. And that includes my name, the Showstealer. You see, Nathan, you say that you respect what the Showstealer means, but not Alex Shane. And that shows a complete lack of understanding that the two go hand in hand. Sacrifice, my friend. So on the 6th of the 6th, you have unleashed a beast, and that beast will leave his mark on you. You see, Nathan, transference is a word that you're going to know a hell of a lot about after the 6th of the 6th. You see, one man will make the ultimate sacrifice, a sacrifice he never knew that he was going to make, and the other man will ascend. Nathan, I inspired a generation. I laid the foundations, and that generation was Generation Y. It's crazy because my name, Alex, has the X of my generation imprinted in its name. And you see, Nathan, the last letter of your name, Nathan Cruz, will inspire a Generation 2. And I'll tell you what generation that is. That's not Generation Y, it's Generation Z. That's right, Nathan Cruz. The arse-kicking, both mentally and psychologically and spiritually, that you will have inflicted upon you on the 6th of the 6th will be a mark and a lesson to each and every person that walks the path that you dare to walk after you. You will inspire a generation, because those people that watch what happens will understand that there is no glory without sacrifice. There is no achievement without sacrifice. And why, oh why, do your generation believe that's the case? Because others did the groundwork for you. Well, Nathan, come the 6th of the 6th, I promise you that you have underestimated the man that made this industry, revolutionized it and changed it. Just like I, before me, underestimated Andre Baker the same. You know, you either fight the system before you're 20, or you've got no heart. And you join it by the time you're 30, or you've got no brain. And Nathan, come the 6th of the 6th, your life and the lives of every single person that your generation looks up to will change, and the mark will be left forever. And there are two things that you can do about it. That's nothing and like it.